For this meeting, I call this little meeting of the Compliance and Legislative Committee to order. And
First thing we need to do
do
is,
we have anybody here for the public comment period want to speak?
No, sir.
Seeing none, hearing none, I'm going to close the public comment period. Gentlemen, anybody need time to go back over the minutes from the February 15, 2017 meeting minutes? Look them over. I'll entertain a motion.
I move to accept the minutes.
I second.
Got a motion, second, all those in favor, signify by raising your right hand. That is unanimous, thank you. Item 2, industrial wastewater pre-treatment permits, Ms. Walker.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. How are y'all?
Thank you.
We actually have several industries that already have permits. They've been working under expired permits that have been extended for a considerable amount of time. We finally gotten the draft permits ready that JWSC and the industries are in agreement now with all of the provisions, and we would like to put them out for public comment. We have a memorandum on this one, and it says, the JWSC is required by the Georgia EPD to maintain an industrial pretreatment program in Glynn County, Georgia. The industrial pretreatment program is mandatory for utilities which treat over 5 million gallons of sewage a day. Currently, there are 5 industries that discharge industrial wastewater to the Academy Creek Wastewater Treatment Plant, which requires pretreatment permits be issued. All of the industrial pretreatment permits are due for renewal. The draft permits were completed by Brown and Caldwell after a review of the local limits for the Academy Creek plant. The draft permits are ready to be issued for public review and are included in the documentation for your review. And the recommendation of staff is that based on the staff's evaluation and review of the current draft permits, a recommendation to move forward with a 30-day public review and full commission approval is proposed.
Okay. Commissioner, any discussion, any questions?
I have a question. Have these been provided to the industries?
Yes, sir. In the years past, the actual procedure was that they are submitted to the industries for 30 days for review, and then they go to the public for 30 days to review. So the industries have actually reviewed these several times because we had changed some of their limits due to the local limits changing for us for the Academy Creek plant. And then some of the limits they had never tested for in the past. They were not required under their old pretreatment permits. So all of the industries have actually been looking at these now for over a year with different revisions going on. And they have had a chance to look at these last final provisions. The only one that we're still working with is the hospital, and I met with them last week. They are aware of the provisions of their permit. I changed a couple of things because the things I had actually told them they would have was not what was in the permit, because the hospital is a unique industry in itself because there's 11 tie-ins to our sewer lines. So there is no one common place for them to discharge to actually sample for an industrial sample so that we know what's leaving there. But there's only 2 locations at the hospital that are actually of interest in our industrial program, and that is the laundry and the cafeteria. The rest of the tie-ins are all just the same that you would get from any other business or household. So I revised their permit to only sample those 2 locations, and they are aware that they will have to put in flow monitoring and readable pH meter and temperature control, because that's daily. And they're coming in Friday to our planning meeting to try to decide which is the best method to monitor their flow to those locations. In those permits, there's actually 2 here that are categorical. And if you look at the top of the permits, they say categorical. That is Pinova and Quaker City Plating. Those, the constituents in those 2 industries are monitored actually by a more severe set of parameters than our local limits. So they have limits in those that cannot be changed, but because of the local limits, because that is sent down from the EPA. And they're actually, all in separate sections. They have a separate section at the top of where you can find that in the CFR. And they are monitored by the EPA as being more of a detriment to the wastewater plant or to waterway. So they have to pre-treat more severely than the bacteriological plants like King and Prince or Rich CPAC.
Okay, question, do they, sampling, they do sampling, who they send these samples to?
They actually have an independent lab that they send them to. A couple of them go to Savannah, to a company called ALS, and some have different labs, but all of the labs are independent of the businesses, and they're all certified to do this testing through the state and other certification boards to do this. And then once a year, we actually go out and pull a priority pollutant sample, and we send it to our lab to be sampled for everything that could be in the sample. And then periodically, if we have a problem there, we will go out and grab the samples. Also, at 3 of our industries currently, we split a sample with them. 2 we split a sample with. King and Prince and Rich CPAC, when they collect the sample, they save us part of it, and we pick it up and run it in our lab.
Okay.
Pinova has a line that comes straight into the plant, so they sample that regularly.
I see that most of these permits are for 5 years.
Yeah, so that's the kind of set standard in the industry.
Now, are these permits, are they, is it time for their annual renewal, or is it like that we just setting precedent starting out?
We're actually just starting these. Most of their permits have been expired for 7 or 8 years.
Really?
So they've been working under letters to continue working under the old permits until
Right.
new ones were released. Part of that was we were waiting for the local limits for Academy Creek to be reestablished, and that was done in February of 2015. We finally got all of those approved from the EPD, so we've been working on these since then of getting them all into place. The only one that has not been permitted before is the hospital.
So how many are there? I didn't count.
There's 5 for the Academy Creek
No, I'm
plant.
talking about for the overall, for permits. How many permits are you issuing?
We're issuing 5 permits.
Okay, just 5?
Do you only have 5?
We only have 5 that we monitor right now. They're the only ones that could put, that are more than just a regular restaurant or a counseling office or something of that nature. They're the only ones that actually discharge any type of chemicals or anything to us that could be detrimental to the plant.
Okay.
And there actually will be 4 more coming online before the end of the year at the Exit 29 plant.
I was gonna ask about that. Since you brought that up, I'm not gonna ask about it. But I do have a question about the public review. What is involved in public review?
In the past, what we've done is, Ms. Janice will put it in the newspaper, just saying that they are here for your review for 30 days. And then Jay will put it on the website, and then I'll leave this book here. It's usually left out front on a table to where anybody who wants can come in and review the permits. And then if they have any questions, then they submit them to us for review before we actually issue the permits.
Okay. But there's not any kind of public hearing, town halls, anything like that?
The only thing after, no, sir, only after the public review, then it has to come before this commission before it can be issued to the industry
Okay.
for final approval.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it.
I don't have any other questions. What do you want this committee to do?
We want it to be approved so that we can put it up for the 30-day public review.
Okay, and then after that, what'll happen?
Then I'll bring it back to this committee and ask for permission to take it to the full commission for approval, so that they can be issued to the industries, hopefully by the 1st of May.
So we need a motion to move it.
I'm going to release it to the public for comment.
I second that.
Okay.
Thank you, gentlemen.
All those in favor, signify by raising your right hand.
All right.
All right. That's unanimous. Thank you, Angela. Okay, discussion, pre-treatment compliance report update. Ms. Walker?
You actually have the list in your packet. I'm not gonna go through all of them because it's basically the same thing as last month, except maybe a little different numbers for the amount of COs or that type of thing. There is, 2 things that were different. We did not issue any fees for businesses being out of compliance, because we get added an extra step to the plan to where once we go out and visit the businesses, we send them another letter saying that we came to visit you, you're still out of compliance, so we're gonna have to add this fee to your water bill. So we haven't did any of that. And then last week, I was at a conference for code enforcement in Savannah, and they actually offer a certification that certifies employees of municipalities to be code enforcement officers in the state of Georgia. And that requires 3 separate conferences to actually get all of the training that you need to get that certification. And there's 3 levels of the certification. So we've actually started working on that to obtain those certifications to actually give us a little more respect in the industry, is actually knowing what we're doing instead of just saying, hey, we're here to collect fees or you're doing something wrong. It actually trains us to do it the proper way, gives us the laws. And I took compliance ethics, hazardous material, and anger management while I was there at this last conference. But it was very educational. And you meet a lot of people in other cities and other counties that can let you know the problems they've had in trying to collect and the means that they've went about to actually maneuver around some of the problems and get people to come into compliance.
Who all is on your team that's doing that?
The only 2 people that went to this conference was me and Olivia Cummings that actually works out of finance.
Who put the conference on, or the training on?
It was actually the GASE committee, the Georgia Association of Code Enforcement Officers.
No.
So they do it twice a year. The next one will be in Young Harris, Georgia, up in North Georgia in September. It takes 3 conferences to actually get your level 1, another 3 conferences to get your level 2, and another 3 to get your level 3. It's not a thing of where they offer like correspondence courses or things that you can go take throughout the year. They only offer the training, and the training is offered through the Carl Vinson Institute.
Okay.
Is there a testing program?
Oh, yes. You actually take tests at the end of every class, and you have to make a 70 or higher on that class for it to actually be considered that you passed that class. And then at the end of it, when you get your certification, you can actually sit for a state board exam for code enforcement. And that's about all I have.
Commissioners? Any more questions for Angela? All looks good to me, so, thank you for your presentation.
Thank you, John.
All right, Director's update, Mr. Jimmy.
Mr. Chairman, the only thing I've got to say, David, I don't have anything really related to our topics today, but I will give you a heads up. We're working through the budget, as you're probably aware, and we're going to be working through the rate structure. We're trying to look at what we're doing to get a more equitable rate structure for our community and our residential customers, but it may require us to get some modifications to the operating agreement, so that'll be a legislative. We'll know more after we have our meetings next week, but I will warn you that we may have to look at the operating agreement in order to be able to facilitate some of the changes that we were considering, if they turn out to be financially the right move for our utility. But other than that, no other updates, just a heads up.
Okay, just keep us posted on it, and,
Did you want?
I was gonna say, the operating agreement changes that are going full commission tomorrow. Did you want to talk about that?
The operating agreement changes have already been presented to our commission.
So ours,
Right.
and just the status of it is that,
And they're.
that we worked out the language?
It'll be on.
Yes.
Should have been on.
Be on the
It's on
commission
the city.
tomorrow.
Should have been on the city commission's agenda last night or.
Tonight.
Tonight.
We meet
Tonight, y'all meet tonight? What's today? Today's
Wednesday.
Wednesday, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's on the city and the county.
And then it should be on the counties on Thursday, so
is it on?
Tomorrow.
it's supposed to be.
Okay,
We don't
bear
control.
with me a minute, we're kind of making good time here, bear with me real quick here.
I know it's on the cities, I just haven't checked the counties, but Aaron said it was going to be.
Yeah, I trust that it is.
Well, it's being looked at by our legal, and so we'll need to deal with it tonight.
And what this change will facilitate the intergovernmental agreement that'll be on your agenda as well. Commissioner Brown.
And it'll, the intergovernmental agreement, well, excuse me, no, it's not on the city, it doesn't have to be on the city.
I've read this thing a couple of times, but I swear, I just, my mind did not register that I read about this intergovernmental agreement. So far, I've not seen it. I'll start at the bottom, reading up. No,
You find stuff on there you didn't know you were
it's not on there. I didn't think I, so,
Can you check with Aaron real quick? That's pretty critical.
I can touch base with Aaron and find out, you know, I mean, if it's ready to go on there,
It is. Everybody, and
Yeah.
all the correspondences,
we can add it,
we're all set to go.
we can add it to the agenda.
It's not on the agenda?
Hmm?
It's not on there?
I don't see it on there. I do
Is the
not.
operating agreement on there?
No, this is for the meeting of the 16th. It's not on there.
I'll call Alan Howers, Charlotte, check with Aaron.
I didn't think I'd seen it. Hey, no telling. But we can add it. We just have to make a motion to add it at the first of the meeting, so add it to the agenda. It's not on there. No. I wonder, did we approve it at the last?
No, sir.
I think there were some
No, we're just-
language changes.
Well, we're waiting on Mr. Hours and legal to review it and approve it. And they approved it sometime,
It's been a couple of weeks.
well,
So this was the first opportunity after we got through their process.
he sent me the final, the revised version of it on Monday.
Well, that might be the best, you know, just in case Aaron got a question about something, you probably need to hear from, you quiz him, say, is that thing ready? City voting on it?
It's already done.
I just sent him an email, and I actually did that before.
If the city voting on it, denied it.
We're considering.
Yeah, well, we're
Yeah.
considering it, you know. But, yeah, it only makes sense it should be on the Moore's agenda.
Yes, sir.
And again, you know, I mean, if everything's okay on his end, we can put it, we can add it, we just have to add it at the first meeting, and go ahead and add it to the agenda.
We actually even discussed the timing or the order. He's gonna have the operating agreement go first, be voted on, and then the intergovernmental agreement. Because the operating agreement gives us the power to enter into the intergovernmental agreement, so.
And if we get those two documents through, we're ready to go to the races on getting these projects started. And we've got a lot of work stacked up, ready to turn loose.
And we are eager for that to happen,
I know.
okay?
So we,
Anybody else got anything to throw out over here that ain't too far off the agenda? Okay, this meeting's adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you, staff.
this was a hard day.